Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Four Horsemen's Mythic Legions Gold Knight 2 Legion Builder. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have those websites that are always on this packaging: mythiclegions.com, sourcehorseman.com, storehorseman.com. The Four Horsemen symbol there. At least I'm guessing that's what it is. I could be wrong. Then here we have a nice blister showcasing the figure, and you can see some of his accessories in there as well, and nice paint jobs and stuff. Mythic Legions, and then we've got some artwork on the stuff. And then here's what I'm assuming is some type of faction affiliation logo. And then on this side here we have a bio for Gold Knight 2 Legion Builder. And if you want to pause it right here and read all that, you may do so. I'm not going to read it for you. Just take too long. And then there we go on the bottom. Yeah, I kind of want to skip that sometime. So we have a barcode, small print, fine print, legalese print. Warning: don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. And then here we have those websites again: adult collectible print, made in China print, and item number. Finally, on the back we've got some nice artwork here. Four Horsemen. Here's a cross sale with no names, and so that's kind of cool. Well, not cool they don't have names. It's cool they have cross sale. And here's another big block of text. If you want to read over that, please feel free to pause it and do so. And then here we have some more small fine legalese print here. And to see the entire collection, please visit the websites that I mentioned earlier. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, we have this nice spear, and the spearhead does not remove. So there's that, and it's a nice silvery color, and it's different colored than the pole or shaft part for it, but nice sculpted detail, nice paint app, and just nice paint app throughout for this piece. And it's pretty long as well. Look, it won't even fit in the whole shot. Then next up we have the alternate head for it. And I have to say, it's very nice looking. You see all kind of rivets in it. It's got these holes in it, nice little eye slits in it, but there's no eyes in there to see. So maybe something to look forward to on a future release. So, but nice gold paint app, and that's a gold paint app all the way around this thing, my friends. And it looks like it has a little bit of dry brushing or weathering as well. I can't think of the right word for it. Wash. Yeah, it might have a little bit of wash instead of dry brush on it. So, but very, very nice looking. I mean, look at that. It's great. And then you can see it does have a port here in the top, as well as the one that's on the figure has a port in it. And for the plume here, it fits in it. You see it's got a post here, but you can see it's got a nice, I don't know if it's a wash or a dry brush on it as well, just to kind of give it some color and some depth, and just to help the details on it stand out. But it will plug right into the top of the helmet, and I'm sure they probably make different ones, different plumes for the helmets as well. So there's those pieces. Then we have his shield, and it's just, I'm gonna guess because of the color of this post, molded all in black plastic and then completely painted with this nice silver gunmetal-y paint, and it looks nice. A design on the shield probably would have been cool. Well, it definitely would have been cool, but as it is, I guess these guys just, you know, their gold armor speaks for itself as far as showmanship, I suppose. And then here's the handle, and you can see there's a port in the end of it, and it's shaped like a handle, and it's got some nice molded details here. And you just line up the post and the port, give it a good push, maybe a little bit of a twist, straighten it up, and there's that piece. Here's his sword, and I don't know what color this might be molded in, but it is just a silver paint app all over, handguard, the handle, the pommel, all of it, the blade. So nice big silver paint app there. The optional shoulder armor, and again it's got, I don't know if it's a wash or dry brush on it on top of the gold, but there's all kinds of little striations here in the armor, and then lots of little designs as well. So cool, and pretty much the same thing going on the opposite side. So now let's take a look at the knight himself. And again, like, the whole thing has that nice gold paint app on it, and all of it is, I'm pretty sure it's wash. It may be a combination of wash and dry brush all over the figure. And I mean, this armor is just loaded with detail. Now, one piece I did forget to mention, this is also a separate piece that you have to put on the figure, and I didn't want to do it during the review, so I went ahead and did it, and I slid it up his legs, and you have to work it a little bit, but it goes on there reasonably easy. I won't say completely easy, but reasonably easy. But I mean, just look at all the details in there, and even on the back, you know. And not so much here, because this is where things plug in, like his shoulder armor pieces will plug in here, and again, they're optional. You don't have to put them in there. And then I'm sure some battle pack or accessory pack, whatever you want to call it, comes with stuff that will fit in this, plus different, you know, I'm sure they offer different armor pieces, or you can swap between figures and stuff like that. And even on the back, I mean, you got this chainmail detail going on, and it's in the arms here as well, and just all of this fine detail work. I mean, it's great, and they did not skimp on the paint or the wash at all. This figure looks great. fantastically detailed. We've got a soft overlay here, and it's very soft, and it gets out of the way very easily, so you don't have to worry about that hindering the articulation, and if it does, it's not by very much, at least what I can tell. And again, he's got a port here where the plume plugs in, and again, I'm sure you can switch between figures, or there may be some accessory packs that have different ones in it, and just very cool looking. So let's talk about his articulation a little bit. He can look up that high, he can look down that low. There's no chicken neck. He's got some waggle in there, and he can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, 360-degree rotation, and he can raise his arm up at the shoulder, not quite 90 degrees. And nothing in the bicep. There is a hinge, single hinge and swivel at the elbow. Doesn't always want to work because this elbow armor here gets in the way a bit. So there's that, and the single hinge elbow gives you way less than 90 degrees worth of bend. Then he's got 360 degrees of rotation at the gauntlet here. Then he's got some rotation. It won't go all the way around because of the gauntlet part, but rotation at the wrist as well, on an in and out hinge, and in and out hinge on the other side as well. Now, nothing in the torso. At the waist, you got, it feels like a ball joint, and it gives him all kinds of hula. He can lean left, and he can lean right, and he can lean back that far and forward that far. So not very much, but also he's a knight in armor, so. But he does also get a 360-degree rotation there at the waist. At the hips, man, he gives you the full splits. Almost the splits plus. So very good for a guy in armor. So he kicks forward that far and kicks back that far, 2, maybe 3 steps. So very good for, you know, a guy who's wearing armor. There's also where the upper part of the leg plugs in to the thigh. There is a rotation there as well, and it will go around 360 degrees. Single hinge with swivel at the knee, and it bends approximately 90 degrees, so that's pretty good. And then a pin sticks in to the lower leg, and that gives you some rotation, and it will go around 360 degrees, just depending on what what angle you have the knee at. And then at the ankles, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, does spin 360 degrees there as well, and a forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as the shoulder armor pieces go, find the port, find the post, you line them up, and push them right in there, and his head might fall off at this joint right here. So we'll pop that back on in a minute. So there's that. Here's the other one. And that one just popped back in with no wriggling or wiggling or jiggling. And the head just pops, or the neck just pops right back on there. Here we've got his plume. And it just plugs right in. Now, as far as the sword, of course, you notice it didn't come with a sheath or scabbard. So what you do is you find the little extra loop in the belt. And you just run the sword through it. Which seems a little dangerous to me, but what do I know? I'm not a medieval knight. or a medieval type knight. In fact, I'm not a knight of any kind. And then as far as the shield goes, it just slides into his hand, which is a C grip, which I did forget to mention earlier. And then again, his spear just kind of goes into his C grip hand. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Mythic Legions Gold Knight 2 Legion Builder with the old Toy Biz Lord of the Rings Gandalf the White, Figura Obscura's Sun Wukong the Monkey King, and from Savage Crucible, the Lumerian Royal Guard. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Mythic Legions Gold Knight 2 Legion Builder, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Four Horsemen's Mythic Legions Gold Knight 2 Legion Builder, I have to say I do like the overall look of this, and just like the gold all over. It seems to be paint as far as I can tell. I'm not a paint expert by any means, but and then it has a very nice wash on it as well, and the big plume in the helmet, I like that. I like that he comes with a different style of helmet and you can fit the same plume in it. His spear, his sword, the shield, they all look really good. The only thing that looks off, that kind of bothers me, is the fact of the shield just being plain silver with nothing on the inside of it there as it's coming around. You can see it's just plain silver. And I don't know, that it doesn't bother me, it confuses me. And it looks a little weird, in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. And so, I don't know if it was just like they got their shields in a rush and they didn't have time to get them painted up, or what's going on, you know, in universe. But I don't know, that's just the one thing about this figure that seems off, in my opinion. And again, your mileage may vary, and that's okay. But I like the overall look of this guy. He's just a really cool looking knight, and he seems like he's a good guy, I guess because of his, you know, the gold color scheme. He just seems like he would be a good guy to me in my head canon. And, you know, it's just a really good figure. If you're looking for knight army builders in a 1/12 scale, or, you know, army building stuff in Mythic Legions, I mean, this is a good army builder, and you can vary him up a little bit. You know, you can have him with the shoulder armor on or off. You can put the alternate helmet on. You know, you can have him with the sword and shield without the spear. So there are options, and those are good things. And I'm sure there's probably some hand packs or different heads and stuff like that that you could use to vary these guys up as well. And You know, that was one of the basic things about this line when they set out, was the modularity and interchangeability and customizability. And I think those are really good things. It's always nice to be able to change stuff up, especially when it's an army builder. And even if you don't change them up very much, just, you know, vary out their weapons or a head here and there, just to give it some variation. But overall, high marks. I really enjoyed messing around with this figure. And, you know, this line, at least as far as I've gotten into it, is a pleasure. And, you know, it may not be one that I can keep up, but nonetheless, I'm enjoying it while I can. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.